Hello and welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. This is Saturday, February 25th, and I'm trying to continue working on my Folio prototype for the journal itself. And it is nice and cold here in Northeast Ohio, but the sun's trying to peek out, so I'll take it all day long. Okay, so what I have here is, I don't know if you remember, if you watched the Defend Remember series where I made the paper buttons, and I had backed this really kind of cool piece of scrapbook paper to some cardstock to make the buttons, and so it was just laying on my desk, and so I thought, oh, this wasn't really substantial enough to make a pocket. So what I want to do is back it on this and then kind of make a double pocket, but I want some trim or something hanging off of this, or maybe I'll just make that, but it's a little too wide, so I'm just going to take a little sliver off of this pocket and a little sliver off of this one. I think that when I cut it like yesterday. I cut it at 5 inches, and so I think I'm just going to take like 1/8 of an inch off of it, because I did do the edges of this as I did. I really want to make sure that I don't take away from those kind of jagged edges. So I'm just going to put it on my trimmer and just take 1/8 of an inch off of that, and then this base, this side's got like the postage stamp. This side is more plain, so I'm going to take it off of the more plain side, just to feel like it fits better on the page. So as usual, I have a ginormous mess because I haven't had time to clean. I cannot clean. I physically can't do it today. My back is not happy. Some of you know I had a nerve block done, and it's already worn off, and super frustrated with that whole process. I do go back to the pain management guy next week, so I'm really praying that he'll have some solution or some remedy, and hopefully he'll figure out what's going on. It's very disheartening, and it's very frustrating. And not to be a Debbie Downer or to impose negativity into the video, just, I know I had mentioned before, and a couple had commented prior that they understood the back issues because you have them too, and man, I sympathize because it is just, oh, it's the worst. Like, I'm totally inhibited with some things I wanted to do. Oh, one thing is that I'm done working. Yesterday, I'm just digging in my 3-drawer thing here. Yesterday, I had logged in, and I had an appointment yesterday, which I've had scheduled for a long time. And so they knew I was going to be like clocking out early. And so yesterday she was like, oh, you can go ahead and clock out now, and we'll pay you for the full day. And I was like, what? All right. Oh, that's kind of weird. And then, so I did, and I called the recruiter through the temp agency just to make sure that everything was like, okay. Oh, you know what? We could put that on top, and then that will come up right between there. Anyway, and so I had called the recruiter just to make sure everything was set for today to be my last day. And she was like, yep, well, everything's fine. Everything looks good, yada, yada, yada. And then just a short time later, she called me back. She was like, haha, today's your last day. And I was like, what? That was not supposed to be the deal. And so anyway, it was kind of like a good thing in a lot of ways, just because we do have so much going on, and that gave me today as kind of like a freebie day. And hubby was super great because he was so funny. He was like, I get my partner back and I can get a haircut. Because I've been putting him off for a haircut. Not like putting him off, but I haven't had time. Anyway, so I gave him a haircut this morning, and then got a little bit of cleanup done, like what my back would allow me to do. Not a lot by a long stretch. Nowhere near what I needed to get done. Anyway, so hopefully tomorrow's a new day, and I'm sure it'll be better tomorrow. I've just got it severely angry right now, and it just needs to, oh, I like that one. Yep, we're gonna use that on there. Okay, anyway, So yeah, that's that. I mean, I'm not trying to be all whatever. Anyway, Bernice, I had said that you had mentioned loving this paper pad that I'm working with, so I said I would try to remember to show you the pages in it. And it's like, this was a page. This is the Tim Holtz paper pad, guys, that I'm using the rest of for this. And if you just kind of, I mean, I've got it so full, it's hard to see the designs in it, but it really is a beautiful paper pad. But I do strongly suggest, like, if you have paper pads, use what you have rather than buying more, because one thing I did find, like, when I started to dig through my paper pads, I really found some that I liked a lot. And one thing about using it for something like this is it's something that I use, like, a lot, get into my folios and stuff. So I do still get to enjoy it. Even though my pockets are full, I still get to enjoy, like, the backgrounds. I can see it in between. So it's really nice. And then I just tried to, you know, this one you might be able to see a little bit better with the designs and stuff. But anyway, so this is a great use for them, but I don't recommend, like, running out buying new paper pads, even though I'm telling you right now, that is absolutely the pot calling the kettle black, because I just ordered, we won't talk about how many new paper pads. Anyway, but in my defense, they were themed, and I have never been able to buy a Graphics 45 paper pad, so I bought a few of those. And I did buy a Stamperia pad that is like a Sea Life pad, or Sea, it's called Sea Land. I'll show it to you in a little bit. Anyway, and they're pads that I've been wanting for a long time, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna treat myself, and I know what I want to do with them. So I did go ahead and buy them. But use your stash as much as possible, because I know we all have beautiful pads in our stash. So anyway, that's my soapbox. So I'm going to continue to try to work on this and embellish this a little bit. And I just had those birds out, and I need a little bird, which I think would be really cute on here if I have one that matches and is small enough just to embellish this pocket. And I don't think I'm actually going to make that a double pocket. I think that I'm going to divot this, and this is going to be the top of this pocket. And I have an idea of something that I want to try to make with one of the 6x6 pieces. I watched a Gail Augustinelli video this morning on ephemera, so I want to make one to put in this. So let me get this kind of embellished, and then I will show you what I come up with, and then we'll move on to the next thing, and just try to get some things put in here so I know where we are with this. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Look how fun. I actually stitched around the notch out. I don't generally try to do that because I don't stitch well enough for that, but it worked. So yay. Okay, so I'm still working on it, but I wanted to share that with you, and I will be back when I get it glued down and when I decide what we're gonna put in it, in the pocket. So I dug in my book and magazine cutout pages, and I found this cute little bird, and I'm gonna put him on here, but he needs a little bit of background. So I have just a little bit of book page that I want to put him on. I think that will be cute. We'll almost make him like a postage stamp, I think. We'll see. But I have a little bit of green stamping on here from Christmas when we were doing the Defember series, and uh-oh, I folded his little tail. So I just want to get some of that green in the background, because there's some green in this book, and I think that will be really fun. And I don't even have to do like such a big piece behind him. But let's get him glued on here, and then we'll determine how big the book page behind him needs to be, and go from there. Oh, and I found this. This is one of those, I don't know if you guys watch the hummingbird book. I think that was the rainy day project I did last year in the spring. And anyway, this book that I cut apart for these bird images has the most amazing artwork in here from a guy named Alan Brooks, and his illustrations of the birds are just, in my opinion, they're absolutely beautiful. And I keep trying and hoping to find another book that has his illustrations in them, because I would buy it all day long. They're just beautiful. And anyway, I haven't been able to find another one, but someday I will. Someday I will. So I want to ink around this. And let's see. I don't mean to ink on screen. Oh, I found this image, which I think is going to be a really cool journaling card in a pocket. And I think the colors go well with this. So this will go here. And maybe just a little cheesecloth behind him. I think we'll be good. So do I have, I do. Oh, here's some that looks like it might, no, that's not dyed, but we're gonna go with it. I thought I had a piece dyed. Yeah, that we were, there's one. This is the one we were pulling from. This is good because I'm wanting to empty out this 3-drawer bin anyway. So yeah. Hey, what's that? Oh. Ooh. That was somebody favorited a journal on Etsy. Hopefully she'll buy it. Yay. Okay. Oh yeah, that's gonna be cute behind him. So let's just cut this around roughly. I'm not doing it super nice and super perfect. I don't want it super nice and super perfect, but I do need to be mindful that this is gonna be like, this is the inside of my spine, so I don't want it too bulky, but I do love it. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of that there. Okay, so I'm going to get this glued down, and we're not done. I need to trim up my lace and see what else I can come up with. So I'll be back in a minute. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Look how fun. I actually stitched around the notch out. I don't generally try to do that because I don't stitch well enough for that, but it worked. So yay. Okay, so I'm still working on it, but I wanted to share that with you. And I will be back when I get it glued down and when I decide what we're gonna put in it, in the pocket. Oh my goodness, talk about lots going on right now. It's so much fun. My one friend is at this really cool expo with her mom, and they're FaceTiming me. It's just, her mom's so cute. I've never met her, but she is just such a cute person. And then my other friends messaging me about, we're working on this project. Anyway, it's just a lot of fun. My phone is going crazy. So I told you I found this image, so I just kind of fussy tore around it. And then I have this book page, remember that I was soaking up my paints in the other video. And so I think I'm just gonna kind of push this to the edge, and I'm going to let that kind of be a thing. So I've got to get this backed and then ink around it. And that's going to make a really fun little journaling card to stick in a pocket. And I have an idea for another piece to make. So I'm just going to keep working on this, and I will come back and kind of show you what I'm coming up with. I'm brainstorming, so I really can't like talk you through the process. No, I don't really want to cover up all those yummy colors either. So, oh, that's pretty too. Lots to take into account, but I have to watch language because this is a Dollar Tree book. So, and a lot of times there's potty mouth stuff in those. So we definitely don't want potty mouth. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, so I turned the little bird image into a journaling card, and I just backed it on some of my coffee dyed cardstock, and this corner was kind of wonky and torn, so I just pinched it off, and I love it because it just kind of looks a little like tattered and makes me kind of want to tatter the whole thing. And I was thinking about putting a pull on it, but I don't know if I want to because I certainly don't want to block that image. And I love how this watercolor on the book page really gave some really great color behind it, in my opinion. It pulled like the grays from the picture, which I think is really fun. So that's gonna go in there. So that's that. And then I had an idea and I was like, oh, well, and now I can't remember what it was. So I'm just going to keep working on this for a minute. Oh, I know. Well, this is not the, that's the tag. And I tell you, I messed with this little tie for a while because it's not exactly what I think works, but it will work. I just have to accept it. Anyway, I had a piece of, oh, this one. And it's just part of the cutout of the 6x6 pad. And I think I want this at the top, and I think I want to just fold it around so it kind of wraps around the other side. It almost forms like a tab because this is sturdy enough. It could completely be a tab. So what I want to do is figure out how I want to embellish this at the top, because I generally put things at the bottom, and I'm trying to really start adding things to the top of my page to add just more, to balance it out. I have this is one of the cutouts, you know, we did in the last video, and I thought, oh, I love this blue, and I could do something here, and then that will be a tuck as well. So I'm kind of working my way through that in my head and how I might want to make that happen. Oh, and look, I have this little botanical piece, and how cute would that be? Like to make a little stamp to put on there. And then I have this butterfly, and I'm pretty sure this is an Artie Mays butterfly, and I thought that would be cool on that black background. So I'm going to work on this and then come back and show you what I decide. Okay, so what I'm doing is just creating a pocket. Okay, so I just cut a piece of the coffee dyed cardstock, the same as this image, and honestly, I think this is the image that I cut for the I don't know, tag or something. It doesn't matter. It's here. I'm using it. And I'm just going to put a little bit of a notch in the top, and I don't want too much because I love, goodness, I love these leaves. So I'm just going to kind of notch that out. Not too much, just a little. And I'm going to ink around this. So what's going to happen is now I have a little bit of a pocket that I'm going to attach to this page. Of course, I have to be mindful of my edge because of my spine on my folio, which at this point you don't know what I'm talking about because I can't share that with you. It gets increasingly hard to work on pieces and try to figure out, is it going to fit or not fit? But when it all comes together, then you're going to be like, oh, I see. And I'm just trying to film videos of what I'm working on at this point so you can see and hopefully encourage you to start working on your journal base, because I'm telling you, it's going to matter. Your thickness is going to matter. And now that I'm doing this, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have to be making some adjustments for the actual sizes that I have created. Which I really want to show you. It's killing me not to because I really want to share. I'm like super excited about it. But good things come to those who wait. So we are waiting until it's the appropriate time to share. So I'm going to stitch around this on my sewing machine, and then I have to figure out a tag. Okay, so as I'm working on this, I'm finding some pros and cons to building it outside of the being sewn in. So I'm like, okay, I had, as is my habit, I was flipping and I'm like, okay, I have this embellished, this is embellished, this is embellished. And then I'm like, this is gonna be way super fat, chunky, full, whatever, if I continue on this path. So, and then I'm like, how am I gonna balance this out? So then I said, well, I'll go like put a page in between, maybe leave a page, do a page, leave a page, do a page. I don't know. So it's really kind of your style and your preference. And I mean, the requirements on the swap are 6 pockets. Okay, what did I say? 10 to 15 pages with 6 tucks, pockets, belly bands, envies, whatever, all embellished. And so it's gonna get really full really quickly, even with trying to kind of keep the bulk down. This is the tag that I made for the little bird pocket. It's just, this is a little scrap that was in my bin from the Hortensia journal left over, and the colors kind of went with the birds. Not as subdued as the birds, but I think it fits in there nicely. And it just gives a little pop of brightness, so I like it. And it ties into the line on the paper from the Tim Holtz pad. So I think that that's a nice touch of color and brightness. It's not coffee dyed, but it's fine. So I'm kind of at an impasse right here with, okay, what am I going to do next? Like, I had some ideas, and then I'm like, man, I really have to figure out how this is going to fit into my journal. So I thought about cutting the bird to where it's like this, but I think I want to do him on this side so he's facing inward. But anyway, it's just, how do you want to do yours? How fat or thick or chunky or whatever word you want to use is it going to be, and still allow it to fit in the spine, which I have right now. I will tell you, I'm allowing for a 1-inch spine. And I don't want to go any bigger than that. I'm not going beyond a 1-inch spine. So with the embellishments and adding and doing things, it's certainly going to fill that up. So I'm trying to, that's why I'm like down here, then up here, and then in the middle. And I'm trying to offset so that it'll be more square-ish versus just all at the bottom, because it's so much easier to put everything at the bottom. But then your top is up here kind of like, hey, what about me? And your bottom's like, whoa, you know. So anyway, I'm going to stop saying and anyway. And so for the moment, I am going to go ahead and keep working on this. I think that I will go ahead and make this the end of this video, because I really need to think and contemplate what I'm doing. I do want to say, dig in your paper stash. Find a paper pad that you really like and say, oh, I just don't want to use this because I love it so much. Then that's the perfect one to use for this. And it is a challenge for me, because honestly, the biggest piece of paper I have that is a pattern is the 6x6, because I'm trying to use up the rest of this Tim Holtz paper pad, or as much as I can on this project, because I love this paper pad, and this allows me to still have it in my possession with something that I've used it for. And honestly, right now, other than the folio itself, that really posed a challenge, which you will see in later videos. But for embellishing the journal, like, these 6x6s are great, because my pages are what are they? I can't even remember. 8. So that gives me like a 2-inch leeway. So that part is okay, because I'm not doing a full whatever on the journal pages themselves. Anyway, so seriously, go look in your stash. Go find a paper pad that you're hoarding, or you just love it and you're like, gosh, what am I going to use it for? Use it for your prototype, because then you know that's your prototype, and you're most likely going to keep that in your stash because you're going to use it as reference, or you're going to come up with new things and be like, oh, that would be great to stick on the side of the page. Like, how cool would a paperclip be, or, you know, whatever. So go search your stash. And again, I will tell you, when the series comes out, watch the entire series before you start building, because as I'm doing this, I'm learning a lot of things, and some things that I may do differently, or maybe as I'm building this journal and I go to actually sew it in, I don't know if it's going to work. I do not know. It's an experiment, and I'm having a wonderful time doing it, and I hope you're having a great time watching it. I'm sorry for those of you who are watching for the Alice. I just cannot work on Alice right now. My head's not in it. My heart is not in it. And if I try to proceed with Alice, I'm really not going to create in a way that I feel is fair, either to myself or to the journal itself, because my heart's not in it. And if your heart's not in it, you're not going to do your best. And so I've set it aside. So again, thank you, Bernice, for telling me it's okay to do that. I needed that. And so that's why I have shifted to making this prototype journal, and I'm loving it. And it's completely different because, you know, we were doing Christmas, we were doing Alice, and now this, and this is really speaking to me. And even though it's dark and just kind of, I don't really like the word grungy, but that's what comes to mind. It's still springy and happy to me, and just doing the inking and splatters and everything, that was awesome. So it was just good for my soul to do that. So thank you for joining me in this journey, and thank you for being gracious with me changing projects midstream. I'm sorry. I will come back to Alice. It's just not going to happen until at the earliest April, after everything. It's just not. I just can't right now, and my heart's not in it, and I cannot create something that my heart's not in. So anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I will see you in the next video. I'm going to end this one here. I'm going to continue to work and at least get some bases and ideas, and so that way in the next video we can build those things. So have a great night. Bye.